Don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that bell for notifications.
Bout is scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the junior welterweight division. Our judges, Glenn Feldman, George Smith, and Don Trella, and our referee, Joey Lupino. Introducing first in the blue corner, he comes to us tonight from Osborne, Missouri. He weighed in at 140 pounds, white trunks with black trim. Professional record, 9 victories, 11 defeats, 1 draw with 7 knockouts. Please welcome Travis Hartman. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, comes to us tonight from Framingham, Massachusetts. He also weighed in at 140 pounds, white, green, and orange trunks. Professional record, 5 victories, no defeats with 2 knockouts. Please welcome Danny O'Connor. Our referee, Joey Lupino, has our fighter instructions.
All right, Travis, Dan, we went over the instructions in the dressing room, all right? 4 rounds. Protect yourself at all times. Let's have a tough, clean fight. I already established the belt line for you guys. Perfect, all right? Touch them up. Good luck. God bless.
4 rounds, junior welterweights.
Again, he was a alternate on the U.S. Olympic team, so we're talking about very, very high level of amateur pedigree. He's a southpaw, as you can see, and a fighter named O'Connor who boxes with the Irish flag on his trunks. What a surprise, his gloves are green.
True Irishman.
From what I remember about Danny O'Connor, Brian, he throws a lot of punches, not necessarily a big puncher. 2 knockouts and 5 wins.
And what I do like is the fact that they're keeping his identity. They're not throwing guys in there where he can blow out and he get confused and start thinking he's a puncher. They're putting guys in there that's going to make him work and make him look like Danny O'Connor. But I think I'll go out on a limb tonight and say that he'll probably knock out Travis Hartman.
Well, the value of this opponent for Danny O'Connor is that Travis Hartman's had a lot of fights.
But he's been knocked out several times.
Yes, 21 fights, but he's lost 3 in a row, and he's been stopped a few times as well, but by some good fighters.
Yeah, Shimon Alvarez, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So he has been in there with the B level. Jorge Paez Jr. beat him. He's just not doing much. He's standing right in front of Danny O'Connor. Now he's trying to throw some punches.
Nice spin move there by O'Connor, changing angles. O'Connor wants to be the aggressor here. We can see that. There's a nice one, too, right on the target.
But Hartman looks a bit confused with the southpaw style.
Jab and move, just jab and move. There you go. Take the left to the body.
Well, I described O'Connor as a combination puncher. You just saw a nice 4-punch combination going upstairs and downstairs.
But to be a southpaw here, Danny O'Connor, he's not using that southpaw stance, meaning he's standing right in front of Hartman. He's throwing punches, but he's standing right in front of him. Most southpaws like to give you angles, make you feel awkward, but he's standing right in front of him.
I think part of that is because he has to make the fight. If he doesn't come forward, Hartman, you can see, is very happy to stay back, hands high.
Good point, Steve.
Hartman a little bit taller, rangy, kind of skinny.
Hartman is 5'10", so Danny O'Connor's listed at 5'9", but he does have that slight height advantage.
But, the first 10 fights in a legitimate prospect career, and Danny O'Connor most definitely is a legitimate prospect, you get fights like this, and you compare. And we talked about some of the people that Hartman has fought, the kind of people O'Connor hopes to fight someday. So it's a good test for O'Connor at this point.
Agreed.
Action from round one, Brian.
Well, Daniel O'Connor, you know, he see the prey in front of him. He's just trying to let his hands go. Hartman is trying to be a little resistant there. But Daniel O'Connor is trying to keep his poise, hands up. And when he see the openings, he's letting his hands go. He throwing volume punches, and that's what you like.
Round two of a scheduled 4. Steve Farhood and Brian Adams ringside here for Broadway Boxing at the MGM Grand at Foxwoods. Danny O'Connor in the absolutely wild, outrageous Irish trunks. Travis Hartman in the white and black trunks. In his corner, Travis Hartman has his dad, Terry Hartman.
Now, if you're in Travis Hartman corner, what you would try to tell him is this. Have confidence in yourself. When your opponent stops punching, you automatically punch because he's standing right in front of you. And watch, when O'Connor punches, he let his combinations go, he stops and he pose to see what type of damage he has done. So he's right there in front of you to be hit once he finished punching.
And Hartman clearly in counter-punching mode. He doesn't look like he wants to throw the first shot at all.
And that's what most guys fall into against southpaws. They want to counterpunch southpaws. And it's easier to lead against southpaws and make them try to counterpunch you.
And you see the fighter's feet. Generally against the southpaw, the right-handed fighter wants to keep his lead foot outside of the southpaw's lead foot. That's all about punching angles. All right, referee Joe Lupino telling the fighters they're stepping on each other's feet. That happens all the time when righties fight lefties. Nice left hand to the body by O'Connor. He does mix his attack from body to head. And he's got to throw a lot of punches because he's not a big puncher, Brian.
He's definitely being aggressive. I think he should, you know, to compensate his lack of punching power, he should work the body more. But see, look, he finished punching and he's right in front of Hartman. So there's opportunities there for Hartman to capitalize on if he's smart enough to do it.
And the fact of the matter is when Hartman does punch, there is nothing on those shots whatsoever. Nice left uppercut by Danny O'Connor.
You know, Danny O'Connor looks nice and solid. You can tell he has experience behind him with that amateur background. But, you know, there's some things here that Hartman can capitalize on if his corner picks up on it, which corner is the third eye and supposed to pick up on it. I don't think it'll happen, and O'Connor would get away with doing some of the errors that he did tonight. There was a headbutt there that bothered Hartman. Yeah, no steam on those punches at all. Beautiful left hand by Danny O'Connor. You can't be saved by the bell. Beautiful counter left hand.
All right, Brian, this happened at the very end of round 2.
Well, no power on those punches by Hartman. Hartman tried to turn southpaw, and he was in the firing line of the left hand by O'Connor. O'Connor's smart enough to capitalize on it. He switched southpaw. He threw a lazy jab out with that right hand and overcame that left hand by Danny O'Connor.
Beautiful shot because O'Connor got maximum leverage on it. You see it turn that punch over.
I'm starting to hear them. What do you need?
try round 3 of a scheduled 4, and at the end of round 2, Danny O'Connor, the hot prospect and the U.S. Olympic alternate in 2008, dropped Travis Hartman with a big left hand. It happened in the last 10 seconds of the round. As a result, there were no more punches after Hartman got up and beat the count of referee Joey Lupino.
And his dad, Jerry Hartman, and in between rounds, told him, jab and get on your bike. So Terry Hartman must know his son real well.
Again, Hartman turned at southpaw, as Brian mentioned he did in round 2. Ineffectively, I don't see any point. Well, the problem with jabbing and moving, which is what the corner is telling Hartman to do, is you can't win the fight doing that. It's a 4-round fight, and he had a 10-8 round in round 2, so it's about survival at this point for Hartman.
But, exactly, he won't get knocked out. If he jab and move, he won't get knocked out.
That means he can fight again more quickly than if he gets suspended for getting knocked out. Now, is that a knockdown?
Well, he pushed him down. He pushed his head down, though his gloves did touch the mat. He pushed his head down. So the referee opted not to call it a knockdown.
Probably a moot point, because right now Travis Hartman isn't in this fight.
Dan O'Connor is actually going in for the kill. He turned southpaw again for what reason?
You mean Hartman? Yeah.
Hartman, I'm sorry. Steve, to me, it's common sense. I turn southpaw, I get knocked down. Forget about southpaw for the rest of the night.
Right.
It's not going to happen again. Look, he's southpaw. Actually, I think he's just confused.
And maybe a little overwhelmed as well. Huh?
I just spoke with Eric. They're bringing in new cameras right now, and with the running time, they're going to have it set up.
Well, we said at the start, Danny O'Connor, not a big puncher. This is certainly a knockout opportunity for him.
Exactly.
He's 5-0 with 2 stoppages thus far. It's only a 4-rounder. He doesn't have a lot of time to get it,
but he can get it.
Yeah, he hurt Hartman. He's proven that.
Yes, and he cut the ring off. He's allowed Hartman to do, movement and get out of danger. If he cut the ring off and get in his mind that I'm knocking this guy out, he can do it. Although he don't have the physical attributes, if he have that mentality that he's knocking him out, he can do it.
Last 10 seconds of round number 3.
Another good round. The viewers at home wondering, what's the point? Should I walk away? Should I go get some popcorn for the next fight? But if Travis Hartman get in his mind that I can win this fight, he can, because I think Danny O'Connor this round is going to come out and go for the kill, which means the defensive whiz that he's known for won't beat him.
Round 4 of a scheduled 4. The fighters touch gloves. Danny O'Connor in the white, green, and orange Irish trunks. Travis Hartman from Missouri in the white and black trunks. Danny O'Connor has won every round, and in round 2, he dropped Hartman with a big left hand toward the end of the round.
And as I was saying, Steve, most journeymen, or most opponents will fight the last round. They will. They'll fight you the last round because they know that's it. So if Hartman come out and fight this round, there can be a good opportunity, a good spot for him there.
But Brian, I just don't think he's got the tools. I mean, we've seen him punch, and there's just no steam on his shots.
Hey, listen.
All it takes is one, right?
There you go. I can recall, although this is not the same level, so I just want people to know that I'm just making a reference. I can recall Michael Moore and George Foreman. Moore was beating former pillar to post. Stood in front of Michael Moore in front of Foreman for 1 second and got hit with a right hand.
Mouthpiece came out.
And they're taking their time with replacing it.
All right. It's all about whether Danny O'Connor can get his third stoppage win at this point. He's going to get a win.
I'm telling you, Steve, I'm going with the underdog here this round. I think if Hartman just stand his ground, again, and put it in his head that, you know what, I'm winning this round. He can make some good things happen. You see, Danny O'Connor, like I said, will get sloppy because he think he can get a knockout. And he's winging, getting wild.
Hartman biting down on that mouthpiece like it doesn't fit or something. It's already come out once. You know, he's 9-11, Brian. He doesn't have a winner's attitude, and being that he was dropped in this fight, he's been outfought for all 3 rounds. I just don't see him trying to win at this point, even if what you're saying is true. A little bit of blood. I'm not sure where it's from on the right side of the face of Travis Hartman.
A minute left in this round, under a minute left. And I knew Danny O'Connor's going to stay on this attack mode. Whether he get the knockout, I don't know, but he's going to stay in this attack mode.
He's trying for it. He landed the best punch there was a right hook to the body.
Again, another body shot.
Yeah, he'd be smart to stay there right now. That's exactly what he's doing. Left hand to the body, Travis Hartman down for the 2nd time in this fight.
Spit his mouthpiece out.
And he points out to the referee that his mouthpiece is on the floor, which tells you that it probably came out intentionally.
And if you notice the grimace on his face, he's still hurting from those body shots.
And you watch Danny O'Connor.
He spit it out again.
Back to the body. Well, the referee could take points or disqualify him. Maybe
he took it out again.
Maybe the mouthpiece is of the drugstore variety and it's just not very professional. It doesn't fit his mouth. Yeah, the doctor is up on almost on the ring apron. It's just a question of time right now. We're in the last 10 seconds of this 4th and final round. And Hartman's ready to go, but the clock may save him, and it does.
Referee Joe Lupo was generous. Lupino, rather. He was very generous with allowing Hartman to go the distance.
Danny O'Connor, safe to say he's going to go to 6-0 with 2 knockouts. But the only negative here is that in that last round, he very clearly wanted to stop Travis Hartman. Dropped him for the 2nd time with a body shot, and if he had maybe 15, 20 more seconds, it's very likely he would have gotten that 3rd knockout, but he will settle for a decision win. And Danny O'Connor, a prospect at 140 pounds. Again, he was a U.S. Olympic alternate in 2008, a National Golden Gloves champ, and a U.S. Nationals champ, and that's about as high in the U.S. anyway as it gets for an amateur.
I remember those days.
Brian Adams, a 4-time New York Golden Glove champ and a
national champ.
National champ and a lightweight contender as a pro. So I'm in good company.
You're safe. I got your back. Don't worry.
All right. I need help. You know, I'm a little older than you, Brian. Now, we've seen Danny O'Connor a couple of times. The class of 2008, they're all moving up now. They've all had a few fights, and he's certainly one to watch. I think he's a crowd-pleasing fighter. Got a lot of speed. Not necessarily a big puncher, but he's going to throw a lot of shots. And there's Travis Hartman. And he did well to finish 4 rounds.
And that's the key there with Danny O'Connor. You can see him there. He is flashy, hand speed. Doesn't have punching power, which will be very interesting when he fight, because he'll always be in one of those matches where what if? Because his lack of punching power.
All right, let's make it official and go up to ring announcer Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, after 4 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards, and all 3 of our judges scored the bout 40-34, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. From Framingham, Massachusetts, Danny